Two brothers are dead after they allegedly broke into a home in Madison, Indiana. The sheriff's office tells us a homeowner says he shot and killed the two men this morning after he caught them in the crime. It's our top story here on the Night Team. I'm Connie Leonard. Thanks for joining us. The shooting happened on North Bulldog Drive. The Night Team's Alexander Goldberg and photojournalist Aspen Hester heard from a neighbor who says there have been burglaries on her street, but never one that ended like this.
It's shocking. And this is the first time this has ever happened on my road.
Two Madison, Indiana brothers are dead after a homeowner shot them. He told police he allegedly fired the shots after the men broke into his home early Thursday morning. It happened here on North Bulldog Drive in Jefferson County, Indiana. Authorities say the homeowner called 911 just after 3:45 a.m. to report that he had shot the two men, who police say are brothers from Madison. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department found the two victims dead on scene, 27-year-old Dalton Skirvin and 29-year-old Caleb Skirvin. Neighbors say moments like these heighten emotion in the area.
A little nervous about the issue of somebody getting shot only, what, 2 doors down from me?
Heather, who didn't want to be seen on camera, has lived down the street for 24 years. She says she knows the homeowner.
I've seen him when I go from my daily walks.
And the victims.
Well, I went to school with them.
She says she's noticed a series of break-ins ever since she's lived here, particularly in the homes closer to the main street, West Deputy Pike Road.
The neighbors on this end have definitely been broken in into more than anybody towards the back end.
Despite this, she says she feels safe in the area.
Even though this happened only, like I said, only 2 houses down from me, yes, I do feel pretty good with the animals I got back here.
Police say the investigation is still ongoing. They haven't provided any information if the homeowner will face any charges or if he knew the victims. In Madison, Alexander Goldberg, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
The Jefferson County Sheriff says they're investigating this alongside the Madison Police Department and Indiana State Police. New tonight, we are learning 6 firefighters were injured during a fire in Nelson County. The Northeast Fire District responded to the fire just before 1 this afternoon at the old Henry McKenna Distillery in Fairfield, which had been converted to apartments. According to Chief Ted Shields, 5 firefighters were inside the building when the ceiling collapsed and pinned them down. A 6th firefighter was injured trying to save the 5. All 6 were treated for minor injuries. 2 units of the building were affected, impacting 2 families. The Northeast Fire District was also assisted by the Taylorsville Spencer County Fire Department. Police in St. Matthews are investigating after multiple cars were broken into today. According to Major Tony Coball, 8 vehicles were broken into around the area of Shelbyville Road and Hubbard's Lane. Now, surveillance video shows the suspect driving a silver Hyundai Sonata with damage to the driver's door. The suspect can be seen circling the lot near the Craig and Landreth car dealership several times. The owner of the dealership tells us that some of the cars that were hit belong to his employees.
Well, it's Christmas time. You know, it's going to be on their insurance. It's going to be on them. It's something that nobody can control other than the thieves. So. Hopefully we can find the right people. They can get the restitution.
Now, anyone with information is encouraged to call the tip line for St. Matthews Police, and that number right there on your screen, 502-893-9000, or you can also utilize their online portal. We're learning new details about a Nelson County man who was shot by a sheriff's deputy during a welfare check on Christmas Day. Sheriff Ramon Pinaroa said deputies were sent to Margaret Lane and Cox Creek just after midnight for a welfare check. Deputies say a confrontation happened between them and 51-year-old Scott Hart. According to court documents, deputies made contact with Hart, who answered the door holding a gun. Hart then closed the door and deputies retreated to cover. Police say deputies were able to make contact with Hart by phone, where he allegedly threatened to kill the deputies before hanging up. Hart then exited the home again, and again, according to paperwork, pointed his gun directly at those deputies. The sheriff says that's when Deputy Lee Keith fired at Hart, hitting him in the arm. Hart was treated at the hospital and released. He's charged now with the attempted murder of a police officer and wanton endangerment. Dash camera video shows the moments right before a car traveling the wrong way on I-65 crashed into a semi. The video given to us from Stephen Corbin of the Zone 10 Fire shows the car flying past Corbin's car. Corbin estimates the car was traveling around 70 to 80 miles per hour. He tells us that seconds after the car passed him, it slammed into a semi head-on. Corbin says this month alone, they've responded to 3 separate incidents involving cars going the wrong way.
It seems to be that more and more that this is happening, and I don't know if people's in a hurry nowadays and not paying attention, but it's dangerous, and you always have to be observant of what's around you.
Zone 10 fire crews were soon called to that scene. The Shepherdsville Police Department says the driver was killed. Well, out of their homes the day after Christmas, investigators are trying to determine the cause of an apartment fire in Okolona. Okolona fire crews were called to a complex on Lips Lane just after 9 last night. That's off Preston Highway near Fern Valley Road. One resident took us inside his apartment, showing the smoke-covered walls, ashes, and a caved-in ceiling where rain continues to soak the floors. Now, Gustavo Cayagnet has lived there for 2 years. Wednesday night, he said smoke started coming up in the closet where he keeps his washer and dryer.
It's a little hard because sometimes you realize that material things are important, but it's better to save lives. I thank God at least my family and I are fine, and all of the residents are fine. No one died.
The Okolona Fire Department says they were able to respond within 5 minutes and put out the fire within 30. Fire Marshal Frankie Nally says the cause of the fire is still undetermined, but they believe it began in a utility space on the second floor. All right, well, we've got some rain headed our way, and Sam Gabrielli is in a little early tonight to talk about what we should expect. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Connie. Yeah, we're talking about some rainfall all starting off tomorrow morning. I do think the rain's going to be lingering into about midday hours tomorrow. Most of our Friday, I do think, as that rain departs, is going to be a lot much more warmer than today. Not a ton warmer, but just a couple of degrees warmer than what we were at today with the thermometer readings. Here's actually a live look at downtown from Jeffersonville. The past 20 hours, we have seen temperatures stay well above normal for this time of the year. We should be in the middle 40s in the afternoon. Today, we cruise to 55 degrees in the metro, some mid 40s this morning, and we do have some mid 40s in the works for us again tomorrow morning. A quick look out the door. We already are dipping down into the upper 40s right now. 38 in Sellersburg. It all depends on where you live outside of Jefferson County, where a couple of us are dipping into the upper 30s, including Brandenburg right now. Jasper, you're at 49. So tonight I do have most spots hovering in the lower to middle 40s. 44 tonight in North Vernon and in LaGrange, Bardstown tonight, likely clipping about 44 degrees. Don't go anywhere. In a few minutes, I'm going to be talking about the rain chances that we're watching as that complex of rain you see to the southwest of us will be affecting us for the first half of your Friday. The full forecast straight ahead.
All right, thank you, Sam. In Arizona tonight, police are investigating after 3 people were shot and 1 person stabbed during a family gathering at the airport. Now, according to police, it happened just before 10 p.m. at the terminal food court inside the airport, but outside the security checkpoint. Police say a family fight escalated and led to shots being fired. 3 of the victims are expected to survive, while the 4th victim has life-threatening injuries.
All 5 individuals that are involved in this incident are all known to each other. No community members or visitors were injured outside of this group individual. This incident has been resolved. It was resolved very quickly. There's nobody outstanding.
Now, police said operations at the airport were temporarily halted but are ongoing again. New details tonight about the deadly plane crash overseas on Christmas Day. The plane was seen flying erratically, then crashing to the ground and exploding. 38 people died. ABC's Zareen Shaw with what authorities believe caused it.
Tonight, the urgent investigation into what might have led to this commercial Azerbaijan Airlines flight crashing into Kazakhstan on Christmas Day. The plane taking off on Wednesday from Azerbaijan's capital, Baku, to Grozny, the capital of Russia's Chechnya Republic. This video capturing the aircraft flying out of control, losing control, and then gaining stability before nosediving and crashing near Aktu, a city in Kazakhstan across the Caspian Sea. 67 people from 4 different countries were on the flight, 38 of them, including both pilots, dying. Somehow, 29 people surviving. Some were pulled out from the damaged aircraft, others appearing to walk away unscathed. Initial reports pointed to a possible bird strike, bringing the plane down. But a U.S. official telling ABC News early indications suggest a Russian anti-aircraft system may have hit the plane. Some jumping to compare this crash to the Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 crash 10 years ago. An investigation finding that Russian forces in Ukraine shot down that flight. The Kremlin urging the public not to speculate before the results of the investigation are released.
There are lots of indicators to point towards a shoot down of that aircraft.
Experts pointing to images of the plane wreckage and comparing the damage to an air fire, and pointing out that Russia was defending the region from Ukrainian drone strikes recently.
There are no scuffs or bumps or dents that would also indicate, aircraft or birds hitting the aircraft fuselage, and also the direction of the shrapnel, which looks like it's coming from below and towards the front, from the rear towards the front of the aircraft.
Now, at least one airline, Israel's main carrier, which was one of the few international flights still going to Russia, suspending flights to Moscow, citing the recent developments in Russia's airspace. Doreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
New tonight, a lawsuit has been filed against the Impact Plastics factory in Tennessee. 6 workers died after that factory flooded in September following the remnants of Hurricane Helene. Now, in the lawsuit, some factory workers claim they weren't allowed to stop work until the power went out. By then, the access road to the building was underwater.
We started voicing our concerns about it. We were saying that, it's supposed to be some really bad weather. And it said that if we're in a flood zone, that we needed to, move, not to travel unless we had to, away from those areas.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the state's Workplace Safety Office have opened their own investigation into Impact Plastics.